Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Due to a sudden and complete cessation of the electrical current that normally energizes our home, a condition also known as power outage, our technological ecosystem has been rendered inert. The once reliable flow of electrons has been abruptly interrupted, silencing the symphony of our beautiful life. This unanticipated return to a pre-industrial state means that we are now operating entirely at the whim of the sun, navigating our personal spaces by its fading light. Or long story short, we're running out of power. We need a bit of a quick fix, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our Orithec area, which is also supposed to be our mechanism area, but it's also going to be our power area. 3 automations in 1 cube. That's efficiency. Now, I think I have just made every single pattern that we need in order to automate every single crystal from power. So let's get started. So at the center of the room, we're going to have a pattern provider with 4 energizing orbs and 4 import buses. And yeah, trust me, there's a wireless connection here. At this very moment, we are not really producing any nitro crystals, so we need to go with spirited rods. We do have mystical agriculture crops for them, so crafting it is not really gonna be a big deal. Let's go with 12. I'm assuming something like this should work. Yeah, each of the orbs is being powered by 3 rods. So if I want nitro crystals, I should be able to craft them. Yeah. Blocking mode enabled. That should be our crystals. All of them. Now, if we want to do this without any boo-boos, can I have 400? I also put some speed upgrades in the import buses so that it will import the crystals faster, so we're doing fine. Okay, so I covered the roof, the walls, everything seems to be working fine. And what we want to do is that we want to make some solar panels. Of course, we're going to go with nitro solar panels. They generate 50,000 RF per tick. We're going to have 25 of them. That is 1.25 million RF per tick, right? Ignore the rest of the things that I'm crafting. It's from the previous episode. I know that I did mention that our main source of power generation is going to be bigger reactors, but that was an immediate fix. This one would not have been an immediate fix. Wait, it's done? You have no idea, that's a crazy recipe. I have assembled our solar panels and thankfully we are no longer in the negative. It's increasing rapidly. Anyways, let's move on. If you guys remember, a few hundred episodes ago, we went to the other dimension and we got some soul lava, which we are trying to import to our system, maybe a bit faster. Thank you. It's really not a crazy amount of soul lava, it's just 54 buckets, but for the moment we can actually use that. And what do I want to use it for? Well, there are different infinity cells and the lava one is the most important one that we can have. It does require some alloys from all the mods team. So one of them is done inside the enchanting apparatus. I have the recipe for it. One can be done with power, which I also have the recipe for it. 1 billion RF. Wow. And the final one is done inside the dissolution chamber with soul lava. It's not a crazy amount of soul lava, it's just 100 millibuckets. I have been making some patterns for the infinity cells and well, we can make a bunch. So obviously we're going to have the one for lava, then there is one for dirt, then there is one for sand, and there's an extra one for gravel. And you might notice we actually have all the ingredients to craft every single one of them. Honestly, I don't really need the one for dirt because I have like 240,000 dirt, thanks to our quarries, but we want to be fancy. Obviously. Oh, and by the way, I did manage to find a very interesting recipe inside the crusher from Mechanism. So you want to make 6 times compressed sand, you just put 6 times compressed gravel inside, and 6 times compressed cobblestone. I don't know if it's going to be slower or faster or whatever, but that's very convenient. You get 500,000 sand, and we already have infinite cobblestone. Why do you need blocks of Certus quartz? Oh, okay. It's cutting it into circuits. And you're blinking. I don't like blinkage. It's Halloween! No. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for me it is the next day, but yeah, our infinity cells are ready. Obviously we have gravel, you need an extra gravel to make the sand, we have dirt, we have lava, oh that's cobblestone, we have water, and yeah, lava is here. I was planning to make something for netherrack and endstone as well, but I have 9.3 million netherrack, and also just over 8 million endstone, so I don't think we need an infinity cell for them. Also, if you see weird things around the base, it's just because that I'm still making the quantum upgrade. I have a robber situation, so I'm purchasing circuits and robber. Anyways, moving on, we need to address the bee situation. So I have made myself a very small home. It does have a bubble elevator. I thought it's fun to use. Don't ask me why. They are fun to use. And we do have a bee squashing room. That's a copycat block. Let's fix it. That looks horrifying. It's fine. So I captured some of our kamikaze bees and they're gonna be painful. So basically what I'm doing is that I do have a bottler with tons of bottles inside. I'm putting the bee in and I'm using a piston to squash them. What we're getting is squashed bee material, which we have to centrifuge. And that gives us a gene sample. Honestly speaking, squashing the bees is way more efficient than the gene sampler in the hive. Granted, my setup over there has not been chunk loaded for a very long time, but it has been set up for almost a week in real life. Maybe more. And you see, it gives you like 1%, 2%, something. And the highest I could go was 92%. This one is straight up 52. I also thought we need a bit of an organization over here, so I went with the QIO system from Mechanism. The basic version doesn't really require any polonium, plutonium or antimatter, and we're going with that. The basic drive gives you 16,000 storage as well as 128 types, which is great. So if I search for kamikaze, yeah, it does show me. That's good. Don't you ever quit, I just killed you. Yes, problems. Anyways, I think that's the entire bee setup that we're going to have. We do have a gene indexer. The gene samples that go in will be mixed together so that we will get 100%. And that's very high. I do have a powered centrifuge, which I can put the squashed bee bottles inside. And they will be indexed. Oh, and yeah, I do have speed upgrades. They're the garbage one. They're cheap. So we do have 4 very high productivity gene samples. That is great. We need 2 of them. I think the way that you have to apply it to a bee is that you need a honey treat, and then we're going to apply it to 2 bees. Yeah, this was actually a tip from one of you guys. Makes life so much easier. So we have 2 bees with very high productivity, and I do have a breeding chamber as well. So any bee that they breed is going to have very high productivity, and therefore it's easier to extract that gene. Because the kamikaze bee can actually escape here, bigger bees cannot. But anyways, the baby will go inside an incubator and we will have an adult bee which we can squash. Also, I do have enough Heart of the Sea, we can make some better speed upgrades. But we are also going to fix the situation with the Heart of the Sea. Because so far I'm just using Theurgy over there and that's very slow, I need something faster. So I have been thinking, since my bees are being incubated, let us work on the Heart of the Sea, and yeah, it does require a brand new ritual. At first I thought these things look exactly the same, but apparently this one is an upgraded version of this one. Because they're almost identical. Yeah, they do look a bit different. I give you that. It has more red. But we are going to keep every single ritual because it makes our map a bit more colorful. This ritual is going to give us an Elder Guardian who is going to drop the Heart of the Sea in addition to sponges, fishes, etc. And I do need to sacrifice a fish. Well, let's activate the ritual. Here's the fish. And he's sacrificed. It works. Hello. I got him in a safari net. It's better than the creature catcher because you don't actually throw it, you just right click. Of course, he will go into the jar and we can add him to our collection here. There is an empty jar. Yeah, that one. I just put it there for symmetry. Now we have an Elder Guardian. He has a name. Yinkrachdit. I think he's Viking. Since the Guardian has been set, let us also fix our bees. So they have very high productivity, which is great, but you might notice they work during the day. And their weather tolerance is none. And we got digital circuits. I'm still crafting. I don't know how the previous episode is going to look like, because this is weird. But anyways, for weather tolerance and for them to work during the night, we're just gonna leave them here. They will build up the tolerance. It's just that we're going to need way more. Can we have like 2 speedier upgrades? It works faster? I'm not sure. Well, we can't go faster because I'm out of Heart of the Sea. It's a good thing I set up the Elder Guardian. We go with garbage speed upgrades. Wait, the garbage one is fine. So I'm going to go with 8 bees in total. That should give us enough genetic material. Also remember, all of them are going to be squashed. Gaze into my eyes. Mesmerizing, aren't they? Yeah. I also don't mind hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. It's nighttime, so they should start building some tolerance. But we might as well make it rain. That's a celestial manipulator from Draconic evolution and it's loud. So now they should also make some weather tolerance. Although the celestial manipulator is incredibly easy to automate, so you can just make it daytime all the time and sunny. Oh hi! You're the first? I really want you. I thought they don't spawn anymore. We need a spawn egg. Where are you? You can't respawn him. Oops. It's fine. Whatever you have to sell, I will buy. It has been a teeny tiny bit of time later and I'm trying my best to make a hexagon, but our bees are getting new traits, which is amazing. So first off, I didn't know this, but apparently if you leave them in the open with a lead, they're going to take damage, which is not great. So I do have a tablet of restoration, which is healing them, which is perfect. But this is nocturnal, this guy works during the day, and that's metaternal, works anytime. And weather tolerance any. So he's actually a very good bee. These are the guys that we need to squish. Or maybe these are not the guys that we want to squish. Let them make babies. So I have been cheating a bit, using the building gadget. Does save a lot of time. I do mess up a lot and I had to redo everything, but it's great. I didn't have enough inventory space, so this is why they're missing moth. Moth is amazing. Okay, so I have been squashing a few baby bees and we do have enough genetic material to proceed. Digital circuits, yes. So we do have very high productivity, which is great. We have metaternal, and this is also a bit important for me, temper normal. You will see in a moment why. There is also weather tolerance, but we only have the one. It's okay, we will get the next one very soon. Very, very soon. Yeah, precisely. So obviously we are going to start with Draconic bees because one of the most important things that we need is the Draconic dust. You make a chunk and then you can make better upgrades. So it's literally a must. In this version of productive bees, they're hostile. I don't really remember them to be hostile, but it's fine. This is why I wanted some normal temper. I'm not gonna squash him, but let's put him in there. Let's make him normal. Okay, you're friendly. Weather tolerance, behavior, and productivity. Now you're a good bee. There is something called muscle memory. I almost squashed him. But we go with the second one. Yeah, we have two decent Draconic bees. Okay, so we have our first setup for the Draconic bees, right? There are two bees inside the hive. First off, I have installed an upgrade which is called Simulator, and bees are not going to leave the hive. They're just going to stay inside, and their flour is going to be put on a feeding slab just under the hive entrance. And yeah, you might notice we have 4 Draconic combs. Oh, that's a thing. Didn't know that. But I just figured out it was a very good thing that I decided to go with QIO network, because now we can just import everything to our system. If we can craft it one day. Takes a bit of time. So I do have a QIO importer. If we set it to import without filters and set the frequency to bees, we should be fine. If we get something ever. I have also put the production upgrades on auto crafting, but I think, yeah, you need the Draconic dust. It's just that I always forget, should it be here or here? Oh, and by the way, the moment that you install the simulator upgrade, you can put the bees using cages. I don't know, I was struggling for a while because they don't sleep. I thought I should mention that. Oh, and by the way, yeah, you put it under the hive, we already got the combs. Oh, and you guys are redundant. We don't need them. It's been a while later, I actually have been AFK for a while, I had lunch, I took a nap, and maybe we should also take a nap here. Because if I go out, there is going to be tons of phantoms. Anyways, a bit of a very small update. We have 5 Draconic bees. In the end dimension, I did manage to capture 6 of them. We're using 5. So this guy is redundant. Jerk. However, I did manage to make a few productivity upgrades and I have been processing some as well. Not the productivity upgrades, but yeah, we have a decent supply of Draconic dust. You can craft in this, right? Yeah, it even takes it from the inventory. That's a very useful thing. I mean, early in the game, instead of Ars Nouveau or even applied energistics, you can use mechanism. So apparently powered centrifuges cannot handle blocks. That's fine. I do need the wax. This is why I'm using powered centrifuges. The other one doesn't give you wax. I think I need the wax. Yeah, you do need that in order to make the wax block. Okay. Oh, with upgrades, these are decent. I like them. We should also start automating this process because it's very slow if I do things manually. Since we are waiting for a bajillion things, I thought we also come to the nether in order to get some crystalline bees. Well, you just need a quartz nest and you give it a ton of quartz. I'm also assuming that you just need the one quartz nest. You don't need like 16 of them. But it's fine, we're going to get 16 bees at the same time. Hello. Well, actually having 16 is way more fun, because you just stand here and gather bees. Yeah. So I have some crystalline bees, we're going to give them prosperity blocks. Now it's a prosperity bee. What we need from them is their genetic material. He escaped. Because what we want to do is to make a spawn egg. How? I'm not really sure, but we will see. Yeah, we already have one gene sample, which is 100%. And the second one is close. I might need way more bees, is the thing. I had to gather a bit more bees. I have also squashed a ton more bees in order to get their genetic material. And we have 5 honey treats which are for the prosperity bee. So I think the only thing that we have to do is first empty this drawer. Because honey treats are going in. We give you 5 eggs and the prosperity one. Aha! That's all I wanted. What? That's a mess. Okay, apparently I made a boo-boo with the filtering system. It's fine. Not a big deal. But I guess you guys already know what is going to happen. We're going to try and make the Supremium bee. Well, 4 of them will be Supremium, 1 of them should be Awakened Supremium. But we do have to upgrade the spawn egg, so for the moment that is Inferium. We're going to need 5. And that is going to be our final Supremium bee. So for the Awakened Supremium bee, you need a Supremium bee spawn egg, therefore we're not going to consume 1 of them. And I made sure that I'm not carrying any essence, so that by mistake I don't make a boo-boo. I think 4 Insanium should be more than enough, right? With all the upgrades, that should go crazy. Although talking about Insanium, we have 648 blocks, I don't think we need more than that. But just in case we want to burn some Insanium coal, I don't really know. They're not hostile, right? No, they're friendly. Also, I have learned that if you have your crafting grid over here, you can actually put all treats at the same time. So that's a super Insanium bee. Their endurance is weak, that means that if they sting you, they are going to die, but we want to make sure that we're never stung. Besides, they're going to spend all their time in the hive. Productivity Gamma also functions as a simulation upgrade, but I don't think I can make an extra one. Nice. Can I also make some highly advanced upgrades? For a previous episode? No. But I can make circuits. Wait, what do Insanium bees require? I never checked. Oh, Insanium block. For Awakened Supremium, what we need is Cognizant Dust, and I think for that we need an enchantment called Mystical Enlightenment or something. So I have been enchanting a ton of golden swords because they have high enchantability, but so far, nothing. But some of the enchantments are good. For example, I never had Capturing. We just make sure that we don't lose the books. Next time I'm bringing my library, this is stupid. Just imagine if there's a creeper nearby or a cactus. Anyways, let's try this again. I tried so many things, so let's redo this. Yes, exactly. What we need to do is that for getting the Mystical Enlightenment enchantment, we need to go with the recipe from Mystical Agriculture. You know, this amazing recipe here. Oh, and by the way, I had no idea how to fill in these experience capsules that you need in order to make the experience seed, but apparently this works. It's getting filled in. For some reason, I have a feeling that doing this with killing mobs is going to be easier. But yeah, I also noticed that I'm going to need way more. 4 is only enough in order to make like 1 seed. And yes, you see how easy that was? Why does it say enchanted book? What is this? Do you need more experience? You can't even disenchant it. Is there something wrong with the recipe? How does this work? Ah, okay. Now I got it. A Supremium goes first. And it's perfectly fine if it's tier 1, we're just gonna dupe it. Yeah, I combined the books, now it's tier 2. And I wish this would copy the books a bit faster. But very fine. This is tier 3. We go to 5. That's it. So they don't really let you cheat. You cannot put Mystical Enlightenment on your normal sword. You have to have something from Mystical Agriculture, right? Well, I wanted to kill the Wither. You can't put Smite. But you can put Sharpness. So obviously we are going to summon a few Withers, but we are going to do this in the Deep Dark because I also need to have a data model for Papa Darkness. Because I don't have any production of Echo Shards, the mob farm from Drigmes is not producing it. We have to use hostile neural networks. That will do. It's gonna take ages for him to spawn. We can at least kill our first Wither. That didn't work. Oh, it's because of you. Does it work now? Yes. We should still do a crazy amount of damage. Hey you, spawn. The Wither is dead. 1 shot. We got Cognizant Dust, that's perfect. And Papa Darkness is also awake. Hello. Wait, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so we're not just gonna kill him like 3 times, we're gonna kill him a bunch. I can't wait for these things to be upgraded in the machine. We want them to be almost self-aware. I had a loot piñata on the Warden. And yeah, we are fighting 2 bosses at the same time. It's going fine. I don't really want to stay here for a very long time. Can we have like a few Withers? Yeah, we can. You just have to make sure that you're using the correct sword. I think we were fine. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, I have gathered a decent supply of Cognizant Dust, and that is our first block of Awakened Supremium, which for some reason is not a quest. I have just been thinking, why isn't it a quest? You need the essence. Okay. That's the essence. Yeah, now it is a quest. For the bee itself, we are going to need 4 blocks. We need 1 as a flower, so we need 5 in total. It's easy peasy. Our super duper awakened supremium bee is also inside, you see, production very high. And it does have its block, and yeah, it's producing everything. Well, so far it's not amazing. But we also have insanium. Oh, these are quests. Okay. Yeah, for the moment I'm still doing things manually because I'm not exactly sure what to do about the wax. But yeah, 2 awakened supremium essence. Insanium should be a bit better. Maybe not. The chances are garbage. But honestly speaking, that's way faster than mystical agriculture itself. Another thing that you might notice is that we do have a decent supply of draconic dust. So let's see if we can make an upgrade. I don't think we can, yeah, we cannot make the highest tier one. It's okay, we will go with another tier 3. For the moment that's fine enough for me. So it has been a teeny tiny bit later, the next day, and you might notice a change in my wardrobe, which happened last episode. As we all know, I have been collecting a few bees, I have been breeding a few bees, and the only thing that I did in your absence was that I decided to add 5 Minecraft bees. The crazy amount of honey trees that you need is actually eating through all of my honey essence from mystical agriculture, so I needed some honeycombs. Actually, I'm lying, I also decided to automate the centrifuges, 4 of them at this very moment. I have a QIO exporter with filtered combs on top, and we're importing everything back into our system. We don't have the super duper upgrade, so we're not getting blocks. This is why I'm just using powered centrifuges. But honestly speaking, it has been a decent amount of time later, and yeah, we're getting close. Once we get that, everything is going to move super fast. Sleeping is not a bad idea though. So as you guys probably know, one of my most favorite blocks in the game is the entangled blocks. Where is it? That one. So normally I would revert it back to the original recipe because I use it just for aesthetic purposes, but this time we already had the scry's linkage. And also this guy works across dimensions, so it was kind of better. But now that we are fairly advanced, I thought maybe we should work on the entangled block. So everything that you see over here, we already have, except this guy, the Indium comb. So for that I have been breeding a few diamond bees. I have? Yes, here. And we need a diamond bee spawn egg. Oh, we don't have bottles. Very important to check. Oh, and by the way, if the parents are full stat, the child is also going to be full stat. This is why these are actually decent bees. Well, that went surprisingly well because we got enough genetic material in order to make 2 diamond bee spawn eggs. Yeah. Perfect. In order to convert the diamond bee spawn egg into the Indium bee spawn egg, what we need is a foundry, right? Which is right in front of you. The problem is that the foundry, if you provide it with lava, it's incredibly garbage. This is why I'm actually trying to smelt down some redstone because we want to go with RF. If that's all possible. I think you just put some fire bricks inside the basin, pour some redstone on it, wait for it to cool down, and that should give you a foundry capacitor. It took me ages to understand how to power this guy. But yeah, that's power. Now if we remove the heating coils, the fluid ones, we can add the powered heating coils. There's also a bit of meat. That's my meat. It takes 135,000 RF in order to just melt down 1 piece of redstone? Weird. Oh, and yeah, it's from the same mod, so you can add speed upgrades. But I think, yeah, there's also a faster heating coil. Let's go with that. Because I do have soul lava, so why not? How do you put it in? Like that. Like Tinkers. I have changed the coils, I got my Indium bee spawn eggs, and I hate the texture. So I just went to the other dimension, copied something, changed it a teeny tiny bit. Let's try to cover the foundry. Yeah, you can still see the bricks. Let's fix that one too. Yeah, I would say that's a teeny tiny bit better than the texture of the actual foundry. I'm using the wall block from framed blocks. And you know, you just cover it with whatever you want. Also, I have been working on the graveyard because we need to expand it today, and I noticed a boo-boo. Well, actually he noticed a boo-boo. Every gap is 5 blocks long, this one is 4. I noticed it because I was trying to make a path and yeah, it didn't line up. Oops, I broke the tree. Sorry. Also, I do have a feeling that I do have to work here a teeny tiny bit more because we have so many unfinished structures in our world that if I don't finish this one, nothing ever gets finished. Well, it's not a crazy amount of unfinished things, it's just that they're big. A bit big. But as usual, it has been a teeny tiny bit of time later, and guess what? Tier 4 upgrade. I think we can only have the one, right? Yeah. Well, you know who's going to get that? It's gonna be the Draconic bees. What if I take all the upgrades out, put it in the system? Can I have one more? No, it's okay, I can wait a bit more. But that 1 block upgrade is going to make a huge difference, I'm sure of that. And I was absolutely correct, that made a huge difference. It's not just this, I have been processing a ton. Because I have been working here a teeny tiny bit as well, and yes, I have brought the statue of the goddess, and most importantly, I expanded the graveyard. By a bit. We do have a lot of space in this one, but that one is also available. Something relatively important happened, yes. We have a skeletal bee. I also did manage to find another skeletal bee, which is down there, but I don't know how to get him out of the jar. The way that you get skeletal bees, there's another one. But the way that you would get some skeletal bees is that you just need some beehives in the open, in the dark. And they also have to be empty. There's also a zombie one, but I forgot how to get him. Yeah, there are plenty of skeletal ones. Yeah, in total we got 4. Anywho, that's not very important, but the important part is that we can have more upgrades. No, but generally speaking, things are going well. We got 56 Draconic home blocks with the 3 upgrades. It's a very good thing that we did manage to find those skeletal bees because there is an important bee that I'm looking for. There is something called a ghostly bee, and if we mix it with skeletal bee, what we are going to get is graves bee. Zombie bee is also acceptable. I need it for the graveyard dust because I'm not producing it. And also, it's not just for making decorative graves for you guys, it's also for progressing into Corel's tombstones mod. What do you want? Go to hell. We should get a few any second. Yeah, I think that's more than enough. We don't need the rest. I don't really know what's the point, but obviously it's been a while later. And yeah, we do have our graves bee and we're getting the gravestone dust. And also we have tons of upgrades. I first upgraded all the draconic bees so that we will get draconic dust faster. And then I spent some upgrades on the other bees. The normal bees don't have an upgrade because I want the honeycomb, not the block. And as for Indium as well as the graves bee, I don't really need it in that much quantity, so just 2 upgrades. And guess what? We have entangled blocks on auto crafting. It should take ages, right? It's a very expensive recipe, but it didn't take ages. Can I have like 20? Nice. However, moving on, before wrapping up today's episode, there are a few things that I want to do, and we're going to start with the most stupid one. So this is the charged snowball from Power, and you know, if you launch it at a villager, it will convert it into a witch, like so. I missed. Oh, it's a werewolf. Okay, I actually want him. We should not lose this one. We try it on someone else. Why am I getting werewolves? Well, long story short, it creates lightning. It should give me witches as well. However, what we want to get is a teeny tiny bit different. We want a charged creeper, and we want him to blow up these guys. I want to get their heads. It's just that they're not very friendly. Where's the creeper? There. Blow up. Yeah, I got a hit. I want his head too. I should have an extra creeper. Yep. Don't be a jerk. Come here. Come. Yeah, let's try this again. Blow up. Thank you. Wait, he didn't die. Oops. Yeah, here's the thing. I might need more creepers. This is turning out a bit more difficult than I was expecting because I have to reduce their health. And they're the dead, so poison doesn't work. So this is a potion of wither? You don't get withered. You do. But they have so much health. You know, this is a very stupid thing. I just want his head. The potions were not working, so I have a tablet of restoration. He's the undead, so he's gonna take damage. By punching him, I did manage to reduce his health to like 24. And I'm scared to punch him again. Maybe we can. Let's see if the rest of the job can be done by the charged creeper. He died. Yeah, come. I got a head. Finally. So the nice thing about his head is that it's animated. That's all I wanted. I'll get another one. I actually punched the second guy too much. He's at 9 health. 8. Don't mess up my last creeper. Thank you. I got 2 hits. You know, I just wanted one for the graveyard. That's it. And then, you know, we can animate him. Another very small thing is that if you look at the map, you might notice our quarries are done. I did mention that I'm not going to do this again, but we are going to do this again. But just one quarry, 512 by 512. Another very small thing is that our mystical agriculture area, which is inside the compact machine, does require a makeover. So we are going to need better machines and better add-ons from industrial foregoing, and for that we are going to need experience. Apparently any type of experience is acceptable, so let's just go with just dire things. And I have been hoping that it's going to import a bit faster. It's just 5,000 buckets. I guess we'll leave it there. I give it a bit more. I don't know, maybe a bit more. 400,000 buckets. That should be good enough. So over at our compact machine, I have removed all the Inferium seeds because I don't really think we ever need it again. Yeah, there were also a few seeds on a floating platform over here, and then we are going to remove those as well. But obviously we are going to replace them with hydroponic beds. For that we need fertilizer, we need ether gas. And I need to be able to power all of those machines. I wanted to go with the Wyvern Energy Crystal, but they do have a limited capacity on their transfer rate. Hence we are going to waste all of our Dragon Hearts in order to make the Awakened version. But first I have to upgrade the injectors, that's the problem. Okay, I upgraded the fusion crafting injectors and we're getting the Draconic energy relay crystals. I'm just gonna make a stack, why not? So of course one will be IO, one we are going to use, and the rest we need to convert. Well, obviously these guys are going to give us 64 channels instead of 32, and I think they transfer more power. And if that is the case, I don't really need to have universal cables for the stasis chambers. You know, for the drill. I have also placed down tier 4 upgrades inside the stasis chambers, so we should be good to go. Oops. And I guess I just need the final skull. Please be fine. Yeah, I think we're fine. I have also brought a quantum link inside the compact machine, and it's a very good thing that we have unlocked entangled blocks, because for some reason when you place down the laser base, you can't put anything on it. So I wanted to have an import bus, but I can't put anything on here, so I just entangled it. For the fertilizer, I'm also using a cow on top of a sewer, a sewage composter, and we get the fertilizer. Looks amazing. So now we come to the main question. So this is a hydroponic bed, it has ether gas, it has water, it has decent upgrades and power. This is the rate that we're getting essence. We might also have some growth accelerators, I'm not sure if it's going to affect it, but it should. Yeah, I think it's actually doing something. But that's not the main question. The main question is that, do we use souls? You know, from industrial foregoing souls. And yeah, apparently now you can store souls in your applied energistic system, which is weird. Well, obviously we don't need to have soul search for zinc, but for some things we might. In order to make the soul drill, what we need to do is that we need to get some portal fluid from just dire things. So that's polymorphic fluid and unstable portal fluid. Maybe not. It has to be done in the end. Ew. That is very true. To get us started, we actually don't need that much, but I think later on we have to automate this. Probably. We're just gonna import it into our system so that our system knows how to craft the machines. I go get the wardens. And yeah, we have the wardens. We actually have 2 of them, just in case. And the problem is that even though we have the tier 4 add-ons from more industrial foregoing add-ons, that will kill the warden if you fill in all the lasers. And yeah, in the recent version you can hook up the laser base to your applied energistic system, which I have already done. You see, there is an entangled block with a storage bus. Once you have that storage bus, you can actually see the warden's soul. And yeah, apparently you would be able to use it through an interface, but unfortunately in my version it doesn't really work. It does show the animation of the souls in the soul pipe, but it doesn't accelerate anything. Again, a bit weird. But over here we have 9 hydroponic beds and 9 more over there. It's in the same dimension, so I'm not really picky, I'm just using a soul pipe, and we have the soul surges. They do connect, so you don't have to connect the pipe to each one individually, which I think it's a recent change since all the mods 9. Each and every hydroponic bed is hooked up to an EMI import-export bus, so that we would be able to export water and ether gas into it and import anything else. And obviously it's just gonna run on a subnetwork. I done something terrible. Nope. I hooked up a controller to our main network. That was very stupid. All I wanted was an interface. You should have seen the lag spike. It was amazing. So interface on the main network, storage bus on the subnetwork. And since unfortunately it's 9 channels, we also need to have a controller, which I guess we can just put it there. That should work fine. Using a configuration card, I have configured every single import-export bus to export water and ether gas. And the speed is just going to be ridiculous. So that is lapis, draconium, steel, and iron. Why isn't the speed ridiculous? Yeah, you need upgrades. Now it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So we also need to be able to craft these things, and for that I'm going to use a quantum crafter, or maybe 2, I'm not really sure. So let us hook it up to our system somehow. The reason that I'm using a netherite barrel instead of a drive is that, well, it's very confusing when you have a subnetwork connected to your main network. This works fine, it's a storage bus, and then there is another subnetwork importing the results. And so far it's not that bad. The quantum crafter is incredibly fast. So I have went up ahead and mirrored the setup that we have over here on this wing as well. And I just remembered I did not make speed upgrades. So now I'm assuming that the crafting job is done way faster. Yeah, it's not bad. That's the resources that we're getting. However, these are the seeds that I have to craft. There are a few more. You know the ones that I'm talking about: nature essence, end essence, nether essence, etc. We're gonna place them here. I'm assuming they don't really have to grow that fast, so it's not really a big deal. Because I'm already producing most of the things I need, there's no point of making everything in the billions. Let us move away from crops and get back to bees. I just discovered that there are a few bees that I really want to have. So that is half a stack of diamond bees. You can actually make them really fast. I mean, I never expected this to work this fast with upgrades. You see? That's crazy. And they almost grow instantly. And instead of making half a stack of netherite blocks, I just made furnaces. We had the blocks. So we want to convert some of those diamond bees into ancient bees. And try not to place the block. Stop moving, you jerk. So bees that you breed stack, the rest don't. Why? But obviously we also want to squish them. Wait, I did not get any genetic material. Why? It's consumed. Oh, yeah. Magnet. So exactly we wanted this. 100% gene sample for netherite bee. That gives us the spawn egg, which is perfect. And I'm assuming by now you guys already know where we're going with this. We're going to have the stellarite bee. Depends if we have eternal. Oh yeah, we have enough. We need 4. 2 vibranium blocks. Why is that 3? I have no idea. And 2 stellarite pieces. Oh, and yeah, blood. Wait, it's not full. Now it's full. I thought this attack also works. It's a ranged attack by the sword. So experience 0, blood 1000, souls 4. Why is it so cheap? Wait a minute, so I don't need the forge ever again? Actually, yeah, I do, for a few gizmos in the end game. Do we have it? Cool. I don't think we need more than 1, is the thing. So we're just going to make you super OP, and you go and make some friends. So for the dimensional seed that we need in order to make the Ultimate Star, what we're going to need is a block of emerald, 4 times compressed. My emerald situation is still recovering from the previous episode, so maybe we should have some bees. I don't know if they're great or not, but we already have everything to breed them. So slimy bee, and diamond, and cages. And I remove the blocks. Oh, sometimes they don't oh, it's because of the slimy bee. And I think it made extra. Oh, you need emerald ore. Oops. It's okay, we just have to find an Oritech node with some emeralds. That should be easy peasy. They used to be so common. Now they're not. Also, mobs don't really despawn. Yeah, you see, the skeleton was there for a week. And by the way, I have the monopoly on graveyards. So yeah, this is not required. The nuke doesn't work. It's just for the implosion compressor. Oops. It's fine, we go with something with a lower yield. A stack of kilotons. I go find my emerald. Just ignore the fact that I already have a digital miner and I didn't have to do all of this. But we're good. There was one there, next to the bees. So just from one iteration of 10 bees, I got like 620 blocks. That's crazy. Bees are good. Yeah, they're really good. I like them. This is also semi-relevant to bees. There's an emerald ore here, but if you guys remember, we do have an extreme reactor over here which used to power our entire base. Until today, where we made the solar panels. So the reason that we have the reactor is that we need a block called insanite, which is used in the philosopher's fuel for the Ultimate Star, right? You can also make a decent turbine with them, but this mod has taken its direction towards another mod whose name shall not be mentioned. Think of this as Californium 250. There is a chain, you need like a bajillion things. So this reactor has been running for maybe 20 days or something, and we have a decent supply of cyanide. Not the one in the barrel, in the system. I have filled it in several times. So I'm really not a fan of having 20 different reactors in order to get a certain block, as we all know with a mod whose name I shall not mention. But this is all the mods 10, we have cheaty ways. We just need to have a bit of every single fuel, then we can have the bee. Also, I don't really remember, last time we did this was in all the mods 8. We have to make a reprocessor to convert that cyanide into plutonium. How do we make that? No idea, but there's a guide. All I know is that it's a 3x3x7. Oh, and by the way, this is something that I knew was going to happen eventually, but I threw away my netherite stick, which was unbreakable. I thought it's a stick. You should put something on them. So that is the controller. I think the waste injector goes on the top. Energy is any vertical face, so I guess that's acceptable. Collector is at the bottom face. So down here, a fluid injector on the side, and output on any face. Yeah. It's done. So I think here's how it's going to work. We give you cyanide. I think we have to give you water and a bit of power. Maybe do something. You're doing something. And that's plutonium. Stop moving. Cool. We have plutonium. So I have already prepared some radioactive bees, and if we give them a block of cyanide, now they're cyanide bees. We need a spawn egg, so you know what we need to do. I think you need 5 in total, because that gave me 20%. No, you need 4. This is weird, but in any case, that is a cyanide bee spawn egg, which is great. And I think if we put the spawn egg inside the reprocessor, what we're going to get is a plutonium bee. Oh, we got it. The spawn egg. Okay, it has been a while. I have been going through some recipes, and yeah, we needed 2 more cyanide bee spawn eggs. We're going to convert it into plutonium, and then we are also going to recycle some plutonium, just a teeny tiny bit. Then we are going to need a fluidizer. This was a bit of a pain to make, and apparently it can be also way smaller. It can be a 3x3. But basically, it has 2 modes. One of them is fluid to fluid, one of them is solid to fluid. That is why I spend a bit of time on it. So this is not valid. One is for solid, one is for fluid. And if you right click, it will tell you. So we need to smelt down some cyanide. Very cool, we are getting some fluid cyanide. You don't pull. Why? It's okay, we can use a pipe. So you can't pull, but can you push? Also, there's water in the reprocessor, so I just broke the controller. And yeah, the water is gone. No. Maybe you break the collector as well? I need to put cyanide in it is the thing. You still have water. I literally broke every single hatch. It still has water. Oh, okay. Void fluids. So we shall provide you with some cyanide. And voila, that is ludicrite. I just want to get the bee, that's it. We do have enough in order to make 1 ludicrite block, so we can also get the bee spawn egg. Perfect. I think we are done with bee breeding for today. Let me just set him up. I am very happy. The bees are set. And so far they have been really productive. We have like 361 ludicrite. But I think we have to stop it for today because insanite is a bit insane. It's not that much, but you know. We have to configure the reactor, we have to do weird things. However, just before we wrap up the episode, it is time for some graves. So we have Duke, your boy, and we have Count Yogi James. We also have Sir Joe Pellina. Lord Base required a wolf. I don't have a wolf. But I guess you can have an evolved wolf, which is called a dog. Why can't you catch them? Thank you. Also, apparently it's called a wolf. I don't really know why. But there you go. We also have Sir Teosley, who requested a cup of coffee. I don't really know how you would place down a cup of coffee. No, you can't. Well, I guess you can have a coffee machine. It does have a cup. Then we have Sir Arthur the Cato III. We have Noob Master. Then we have Baroness Ivy, who requested an Ivy machine case. This is called SV Energy Input Hatch. I think this is IB tier, so I'm hoping that's acceptable. We are running out of space, so we go to the expansion and we are going to have Lord Hossein. We also have Lord Kanapka. Oh, I picked up the wrong one. Yes, Lord Kanapka. He did require a sandwich, which I think is going to be relatively easy. Let us also make it purple. You know, purple sheets. Here is a plate, and here is your sandwich. It doesn't go on the plate. There is one from Bibliocraft. Yeah, that works. Also, Lord Zelotos, I did butcher your name, I'm sorry, requested for some weird things. So, a sickle and a hammer. No. No. Yes, 2 eggs. I don't know what that means, so one of them is rotten egg. You know, just in case it means something weird. Also, I did forget, Sir Arthur required a block of ultimodium. There you go. We don't have circuit assemblers, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we also have Lord Mawa, who could not read the sign. So welcome to the club. Also, for some reason, nobody's jumping up and down. But we will fix it. Yeah, and most importantly, this one I'm actually very excited about, is Chef Grand Duke Lycronite. He wanted to be a Starpuncle, so there you go. That is your name. And that is your hat. In the kitchen. Another teeny tiny bit of a confession that I have to make is that I have someone who cleans my house and sometimes he throws away things that he shouldn't. And I do have a feeling that he threw away some of my post-it notes because I do remember there were more graves. I should be up to date with the graves, but if your name is missing, well, I'm sorry. Can you write it down again? Thank you. Actually, except for Sir Onkers. He requested a pig and I had a piglin head. I did put it somewhere. Wait. Well, the sword has 2 modes. There is a beheading mode. Hello, boys. Sir Uncares requires a head. Oh, we got a head. Lovely. Now I should finish the trial. No, nothing. What a jerk. I'm really sorry if I have lost your names. This normally doesn't happen, but last episode took almost a week. Maybe it just fell down. I'm not sure. Oops. I don't want to wear it. Thank you. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.